Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a special WrestleMania week edition of what we like to call the Clash of the Champions, where we talk about the different news, different storylines, and different controversies that surround this world we know and love as professional wrestling. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor in the flesh, as always. And my co host needs no introduction, but fuck it. Gonna give y'all one anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is his tag team partner, Jonathan Randall, at your guys' service, the adventurer himself, the life of the party. And welcome to our podcast about this crazy soap opera that we love, professional wrestling. And it's always getting crazy, especially during this time of the year with WrestleMania, literally a few days away. And I'm so excited for this weekend, Kurt. I'm quite sure everybody else is.
Yeah, it's my favorite time of the year. No matter what's going on in my life and all that jazz, I can always look forward to WrestleMania time. And it is finally here. We waited one long year since the way WrestleMania ended last year to make it to this point. And we are just a few days away. I can fucking feel it. This is definitely going to be a WrestleMania that we'll be talking about for years and decades to come. Shit is going to be lit, son.
I can't wait for this weekend, man, especially after what's been going on over the past couple of weeks. I want to ask you this. I mean, we've seen a lot of, good, like a handful of good, memorable WrestleMania buildups. Could you say that this one in particular is one of the best?
I'd say top 10. And we kind of didn't talk about that enough last week when we were talking about, like, our favorite WrestleMania builds. I said the best one was like the Hogan and Savage one for WrestleMania 5. I'll definitely probably rank that as number one, but in my top 10, I'll say that was number one. Also, this one, the one for this year's WrestleMania. Also, WrestleMania 14. Last year's WrestleMania had
I'm
a
going to put
great build.
17 in there.
Yeah, last year's WrestleMania had a great build. WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 19,
Hmm.
21, 21 with the Triple H and Batista match. Also, the Cena and JBL had a good feud going into their match too.
Yeah, I look back. I had to, if if there was top three for me, I would say I'll put 17, 21. Got to put 14 up there as well, though. Those are kind of like my top three, but you could put this year's as one of the, probably one of the best because of they did a very good job on the women's division between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. They did just a phenomenal job, and we've been critical of that division as far as their build-ups to WrestleMania. They just haven't had a good build-up, but this year they were able to reverse it and give us what we wanted. That you could include, the main event for night one. They were able to, do a good job with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre a little bit, try to transition that spotlight on that match a little bit. So yeah, I like it. Crazy man, how how last year I was at my very first WrestleMania, man. I can't believe it's been a year, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, so much has happened in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
And specifically with the storyline between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, which we will finally see the conclusion of this Sunday. And you got a little glimpses of what could happen from WrestleMania from Roman Reigns' A&E documentary, where he basically said that if he doesn't win at WrestleMania on Sunday, he's going to quit.
Hmm. Wow.
Did you watch his A&E documentary?
Not. Oh, I missed it. I literally was at the end. I was out of town during that Easter weekend. That is crazy to hear that because for one, that stacks the deck for both. Cody Rhodes doesn't win, that no more title shots for him. And now Roman Reigns saying that, oh, if I don't win, I'm quitting.
Yeah, you learned some interesting stuff from that A&E documentary, especially about the whole split up of the Shield, how he really didn't want that to go down. He wasn't trying to be a babyface the way they made him a babyface, but at the time, like, he didn't have like the voice and didn't have like, the money saved up where he could just like, reject things or like turn things down if he wasn't feeling them. And yeah, he had to like really think about his family in that sense. So yeah, that's why he kind of like went along with a lot of the things
Mm.
that weren't good for his character at the
Mm.
time. But like now he's at a point now where he can do what he wants. He can take control of where it goes, which is obviously what started when he came back after the
Right.
pandemic. That whole thing saved his career in many ways and also saved WWE as a whole.
I
I feel like WWE's definitely benefited in many ways ever since Roman made that switch.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. I agree on that 100%. I mean, no offense to him, but when I look back early in his career, especially his singles career, I look back at it and it kind of just it irks me a little bit. Like, damn, like I can't believe he was really like this person, and transition to the person who he is now. You know what I mean? You kind of wish that. Damn, I wish Roman Reigns was like that back then. You know what I mean? Roman was like the enforcer type of the Shield. He didn't really talk as much, kind of like with Solo Sikoa. Didn't really say much on the mic, and then next thing you know, you split them up, and you're kind of like, oh, like you know what I mean? So he really wasn't prepared or ready for it.
Yeah, they were trying to turn him into something that he wasn't. Yeah, they were trying to make him the next John Cena, and that's
Yeah.
not what the fuck he was. And that's why it felt forced, and that's why the people rejected it for so long. And that's another indictment on whose name we won't mention. It's another indictment on his ass.
Mm.
Luckily, after a while, he was able to overcome that. He's been doing the best work he's ever done in his career, period. These last few years, we've had our reservations about the way he retained at WrestleMania last year. But with that aside, WWE's business has still been the best it's been in over 20 years. And he's a big reason why it has had that success.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't just I can't believe it's been almost 4 years, man. Like when he made his return at SummerSlam in 2020. I didn't know what to expect. It was crazy. Speechless.
Yeah, it's so crazy how long ago that was. It feels like literally another lifetime ago.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to be even crazier? As of Sunday, he's going to hold the record for the most times someone has main evented WrestleMania. He's going to surpass Hogan on Sunday. He's going to tie Hogan Saturday, and then on Sunday, he surpasses Hogan's record.
Crazy.
Fucking
Crazy.
A. Admittedly, half of the matches he's been in the main event for WrestleMania haven't been the best, but still to main event that many of them is an impressive feat.
I mean, we could look back. I could say there's only been two WrestleMania matches where I'm like, okay, no, three that were like, okay, this was good. The one he had against Brock Lesnar at 31, right? How can we forget about the triple threat against Edge and Daniel Bryan? That was
Oh,
an
never
excellent
forget that.
match. Yeah, and then look, I know we hated the finish, but last year's match was good. It was a good match.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. So that's three. You know what I mean, and that's fine. Everything else was just it felt like rushed and just fell down our throats, and it didn't wasn't clicking. So
But I think he's gonna add two more to the good column this weekend. I think both
oh,
the
I
tag
believe that's what I was
match.
about to say. Oh yeah, that's what I was about. That's what I was just about to say. I firmly stand behind that, and I believe that. Yeah, I believe his main event in night 1 and 2 are gonna be very good. You could add that on the list. Absolutely.
Yes, and we had Raw this past Monday that opened up with a segment with The Rock coming out first, and then Roman Reigns coming out to join him. And then Roman Reigns was talking about how, like, when he first initially became the champion 4 years ago, Cody Rhodes was in some other place doing a whole bunch of nothing, and how
Yeah.
he can't, in good conscience, let Cody have his spot because, like, his family built this
Right.
company, this family runs this business, his family has been there from the beginning, so he can't let somebody like Cody, an outsider, have it. He can't come and take it. And as him and The Rock are going off, they're interrupted by Seth Rollins, who actually came from the audience, reminiscent of his Shield days. I actually fuck with that.
Yeah.
He's like saying, yeah, if you want to fight me, you have to fight the whole city of Brooklyn too. And then he challenges The Rock and he challenges Roman each to singles matches, and neither one of them accepts. Surprise, surprise. And then Solo ends up accepting the challenge. So that sets up the main event for later in Raw for Seth Rollins against Solo Sikoa. But damn, that first like 50 minutes of Raw went without any commercials. And yeah, this took up like a good 30 minutes of that.
Hey, that was exciting, man. And also another thing,
I liked it too.
yeah, I loved it too. And crazy fact about that, not just that segment, but that whole night, that was the largest was it opening gate for a Monday Night Raw, right?
Largest gate for a Monday Night Raw period, yes. And their
Yeah,
13th or 14th consecutive TV sellout.
yeah.
Bro, this is
Hey,
crazy, son.
were you dig? I know, man. We're man, how reminiscent. Speaking of reminiscent, because you're talking about how Seth Rollins, was going through the crowd, right? Let's talk about The Rock's vintage vest that he wore. He hasn't worn that since what, 2000?
Yeah, bro, give or take 2000.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro. He's been like the final boss. I like the nickname, by the way, by The Rock, final boss. But breaking out the Versace vest, man, it's just I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I told you, bro, his character work has been the best it's been in years. I compare in a way how like this is kind of revamping new life into like the Rock character, the way probably more so the way the authority stable added more like life to Triple H and Stephanie's characters because they kind of hadn't been like doing much for the last few years character wise. They were kind of like the same old. But then when they did that again, and it was like kind of like the first time in years that they were heels. Yeah, it was gold. Yeah, it was the best work they had done in a long time. And yeah, I put The Rock in that same
Mhm.
category with that. And then later in the show, during the main event, we have the Solo and Seth Rollins match. But then there's interference from Jimmy Uso, surprise, surprise. And then Jay Uso
Uh,
comes out to counter Jimmy Uso, and they start brawling, and they're going to the back. And as they're going to the back, Jay Uso gets knocked down, and you see that the person who knocked him down was The Rock. And then The Rock just throws him into the backstage area. Then he walks to the ring to take advantage of Seth Rollins, but as he's about to do this, Cody Rhodes' music hits, and the crowd singing along with it, going crazy. And then Cody walks to the ring with a purpose, and then once he gets
oof.
in, he just starts pounding away at The Rock. He starts throwing hands at The Rock, like stomping on him, like
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin would have. He's fucking The Rock's ass up on sight, which is exactly what I thought he should have been doing in the first place. So I give kudos to him for that.
Well, he's doing it. Hey, he's doing it now, and just I mean, let's go back to that. When Cody Rhodes made his way to the ring, oh my god, I felt that aggressiveness and that energy, man. I just felt like, oh my god, like this again. This is what wrestling is supposed to be like. I loved
It
it.
felt so good.
Oh man, it felt like old times, man.
Yeah.
Dude. When was the last time we ever like seen something like that? It's been a while, hasn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, once he was stomping on The Rock and beating The Rock down, I was just shouting out, "This is what you get for making us watch Baywatch, you piece of crap."
Yeah, and when this is escalating, I'm literally just jumping for joy. Like, oh my god, this is about to happen. And it looked like Cody Rhodes is about to give the Rock bottom to the Rock on the announce table.
But we were sadly mistaken as Roman Reigns came and broke it all up, who initially left the
Yeah.
arena a few hours ago, or so we thought. And yeah, he came and
Uh,
saved The Rock. And then he laid out Cody inside the ring with the spear. And he talked about how it's Cody's last chance. You're not going to get another chance at this, another crack at this. We run this business. We're in God mode. We're in God mode, yada, 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 that shit. But this is where it really spices up as The Rock pulls out the belt from the week before, the Cody belt, and then he just starts whipping the shit out of both Cody and Seth Rollins. And yo, this beatdown was merciless.
yeah,
Merciless. This was like some
yeah.
John Kreese inspired Cobra Kai type shit. No mercy, none whatsoever, son.
Man, what a crazy way to end that night, though.
Yeah, that
Man,
crowd was hot. I wish I had been there. And with The Rock raising up that belt and then Roman raising up the title.
yeah,
And even when Raw went off the air, you could
yeah.
see like a clip of like The Rock whipping the referee when the referee tries to check on Seth and Cody.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like, well. Yeah, I saw. I was like, well, damn.
Some bully shit, son.
Man, man. You know what was even bully crap that he did? We forgot to mention earlier. The first 15 minutes when The Rock showed up, he showed clips of little girls crying when Cody was getting beat up by The Rock the week prior in Chicago. You remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, this is
Yeah, he showed clips of little girls crying, like they're showing them, watch shows like these little girls, watching the beatdown Cody Rhodes received from The Rock, and these girls are crying. I'm like, damn.
the Rock. The Rock turned into Biff from Back to the Future.
Dude.
Fucking A, son.
Seriously, like what Seth Rollins needs to do, he needs to wear the same attire The Rock did when he made his debut at Survivor Series '96. If you know what I mean, I know
Oh, that'd
everybody
be
knows.
hilarious. Yeah, that'd be
It would
hilarious.
it would be
That would be
hilarious if it's playing
hilarious.
mind games. Seth Rollins has done it before. You remember what he wore at the Royal Rumble a couple years ago against Roman Reigns? That was unexpected. Wear the Shield gear.
Yeah, that was great. And also the Hell in a Cell match with Cody, how he wore the polka dots.
Yeah,
Was
it
genius.
was very genius. And then let's go back to SummerSlam last year. His match against Finn Balor, he wore the attire that he wore from SummerSlam 2016. So it's genius. It's hilarious. It's mind games, but it's genius, and I love it. And hey Seth, if you're listening right now, hey man, I'm quite sure you already have your attire made already by now. If you're gonna wear something, man, hey, wear that Rock attire, that Rocky Maivia attire that he wore back from Survivor Series in '96. Wear it. It'll be hilarious.
And also, if you're listening to this, you should be on the show one of these days. We'd love to have you on, book you as a guest. You can talk about your Bears all you want, too.
Speaking of the Bears, I actually finally watched the show The Bear last night.
Oh, really? What did you think?
I'm like 5 episodes in. I was watching with my girlfriend finally. We loved it. Very good show. Loved it.
Fucking
Hilarious and
nuts.
humorous.
It's
And
fucking nuts.
I know. Good show so far. I love it.
It's like that show Shameless that I told you I like so much. That show Shameless, but based in a
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Crazy.
Jeremy Allen White. Yeah, it's funny.
Is
Jeremy
in
Allen
there.
White was like one of the main characters in
Yeah,
Shameless.
and the crazy, the show takes place in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna bring when this show's over. I'm gonna bring that to my girlfriend and be like, Kurt thinks this is like a restaurant version of Shameless. I don't know if you feel that way. I'm gonna ask her though, but that's a good comparison. I like that.
Yeah, like that show Abbott Elementary is like a school version of Modern Family. That's the way I look at it. It's like Modern Family but taking place at a school.
I see what you mean. Okay.
But the style of the way it's made, yeah, it kind of reminds me of Modern Family, so that's why I call it that.
Gotcha.
All right, but anyway, let's get back to WrestleMania news. So yeah, this tag team match is one of the biggest and most anticipated probably in the history of WrestleMania. I mean,
Mhm.
last year's was a big deal too, the tag title match, but
Oh yeah.
just the star power and the stakes, yeah, this shit is gonna be a big deal, son.
Crazy how it's 2 straight years where night one the main event will be a tag match.
And probably once again for the fourth straight year, where night one will be better than night two.
You know what? I shudder to I believe it, and we'll get into that later. I was looking at the card, and it looks on paper, night one card looks better than night two.
Yeah, it happens every year for some reason. I was even watching WrestleMania
Yeah,
38. Most of night one is great, but night two, like going back to watch night two, it's only like maybe two things from night two I like that much.
yeah,
I was saying the only things from night two from that WrestleMania I really like that much are the Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn match, and that's also an honorable mention for like best celebrity matches at WrestleMania was that
yeah,
one, and also the Pat McAfee and Austin Theory match before Vince gets involved.
yeah. And I was, we'll get into our predict because this is our prediction show, ladies and gentlemen, and I was hoping that
Yes, it
this
is.
year would like, okay, you know what? I kind of want a switch. I kind of want to have a WrestleMania where like, okay, night two was better than night one, but man, you're right, Kurt. For the past 4 years now, night one has been better.
It's like double disc albums.
That's funny. So you think the first disc of All Eyes on Me is better than the second disc?
That one's a little tougher, but I would say the one I would reference to this more is Life After Death. The first disc of Life After Death is better than the second disc.
Oh,
Much
okay.
better than the second disc.
I see. Interesting. Okay. We'll get in. Yeah, it is our prediction show, ladies and gentlemen. We will dive deep into that later on to our show. But Kurt, what more news do we have?
Okay, one person who will not be on the WrestleMania card this year will be one CM Punk due to his tricep injury that he suffered at the Royal Rumble. And he
Oh,
recently sat down
mm,
on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani. And he talked about a lot of different subjects in the 1 hour and 50-minute interview. And first off, he starts to get into like how the whole process came about when he re-signed with WWE back in November. And he talked about the fact that Nick Khan called him kind of like the Friday before Thanksgiving. And that's how the talks first began. And then he had a FaceTime with Triple H where they like aired out like all their issues with each other and like, buried the hatchet. And he said before he actually came out for Survivor Series, the only people who knew about it were Triple H, Nick Khan, his wife AJ, and a few lawyers. That's it.
wow.
And then he said he didn't officially sign his contract until like right before he got to gorilla position and was about to go out.
Oh, wow.
Talk
Wow.
about doing things at the last minute, son.
Hell yeah. Right. Wow, man.
And Becky Lynch was even recently saying that Seth Rollins felt disrespected because of that he was felt like, left out of the fact that Punk was showing up.
Why though? I mean, Jesus, I understand that people are entitled to their opinion, but like, well, damn, like, look, it's for the sake of the business that surprise. It's not like Seth wasn't the only one that didn't know. All the talent did not know. This was just a thing between the higher ups and lawyers and whatnot. But I mean, come on.
I think it was the fact of that it happened that way, and also the fact that it was Punk and his feelings about Punk and all that. So that probably played into it too.
True. Yeah. True. Okay.
All right, but the real interesting, juicy shit that comes from this interview is his thoughts on his time in AEW.
Hmm.
He doesn't talk about what happened, like in the brawl backstage with the Bucks and Kenny Omega. Like he can't get into that because he did sign an NDA. But he said the NDA wasn't really signed more for me trying to hide what I did. It was more for somebody else trying to hide what they did.
I see.
That was interesting to hear him say that. And he referred to Tony Khan as a nice guy, but he said straight up he's not a real boss.
Wow. And you know what? It's a very interesting take for him to say that
Damn.
because we've been critical about him professionally, how he handles himself as a boss. Doesn't really lay down the law, man.
And it's not even just that. It's not even just the fact that he doesn't lay down the law. It's just the fact that he gets into these petty ass arguments online. Like last week, he was going at it with fucking Eric Bischoff at like 4 o'clock in the morning over like some shit about Eric Bischoff's like podcast ending. And then he took a shot at Eric Bischoff, and Eric Bischoff took a shot back at him. And it was just going on and on. He's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You in the middle of the night, you're arguing with Eric Bischoff, and you're like the owner of like a company,
Right.
and you're resorting to this bullshit.
Nah, man.
This is
Oh man.
crazy, son.
Did not know about that.
And he also went on to say that like AEW isn't a real business, and they're not really like in the business of making money, like the way they do things, the way they run things, like they're not in the same business that he's in, as he would say.
See.
Yeah, his exact words were saying, if you're happy that some goof says that you had a 5-star match, but yet you're performing in 1/4 of a building that's full, then we're in a different business.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah, that was an interesting quote because I've been saying it for the longest time. I do enjoy AEW's shows for the most part, but yeah, their arenas for their shows for the most part are like half empty.
Lately now, yeah, and me and you have both had taken the privilege of being part of an event of AEW event. I mean, thankfully, when I went a couple years ago, it was a full house. But same thing with you. I mean, when you went, it was a full house, right? Or one of like, what was the first one you went to?
The only AEW show I went to was here in Atlanta 2 years ago, and no, it was not full. It was half empty.
Oh crap!
Granted, at the time, a lot of key people were out, Punk being one of them, but still, yeah, that was not packed at all. That wasn't even a
Yeah,
strong episode at that either.
right. I see what you mean.
Yeah, he just basically said that AEW is not in the business of generating a profit. And I've even heard Conrad Thompson say that about the AEW product, about how Tony Khan doesn't book stories, he just books matches.
Yeah, we both said that one time a couple weeks ago. About that's like the difference between AEW and WWE is that they just, you watch these random episodes and you're just thrown in these random matches and there's no key like storyline behind it. Like, okay, why are they, what's the 411? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing with AEW. A lot of the time, they'll have a lot of good matches. Like even on that show Collision, they have a lot of good matches. But for one, that Collision show, that time slot, yo, I cannot go out of my way to watch that show every week. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
Even on Dynamite, like on Dynamite, a lot of the times they'll have these great matches from like these guys from Japan, which are dope and all, but I just like don't know who these people are, and it's great to see them at one night, but then after that, I never see them again. So how am I supposed to stay invested long
Yeah.
term when those people aren't even going to be around the next week?
True. True. That is so true.
And he talks about like the issues with Hangman Adam Page, about that one promo when Hangman went off script, and then like he basically said that they went over it backstage beforehand, like and made sure everything was like all set and good to go. And then when they got out there, it was so loud that he couldn't really hear Hangman, but he did notice that Hangman was going off script and saying a bunch of things that they didn't go over beforehand that he would say. And then backstage afterwards, he confronted him about it, saying like, yo, why did you say that stuff? And then Hangman went on to go and say that you got my friend fired, referring to Colt Cabana. Yeah, which is a weird way to do things. Like even if that did happen, even if there is truth to that, like it's not cool to handle it that way.
No, it's not.
And that was the thing Punk was saying, is like by doing that, you're jeopardizing the whole story and the whole investment going into that specific match people are paying to see, when you're just talking about some random shit that has nothing to do with it, some like random personal shit, whether it's true or it's not true. It has nothing to do with the actual story going on.
No, you're right.
It was kind of like the Vince Russo era when he was running WCW towards the end. Like he was doing a lot of shoot shit, like real, like people saying like real stuff just for the sake of doing it when there was like no real purpose to it.
Right. Like I said, man, like when I explain wrestling, to my, to friends that don't watch, don't know nothing about it, and they ask me like, what's the, you know, why, and what's the importance of it, I just tell them that, look, it's a soap opera. Like I tell them that there's a reason for everything. Why are these guys in the ring wrestling each other? It's more than just two people getting in the ring beating each other up. It's more than that. Why are they doing it? It could be for the dumbest reasons. It could be for probably the most silliest reasons. I mean, for goodness sakes, Booker T and Edge had a match at WrestleMania all over a stupid shampoo commercial. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You have to, what's the 411?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing he was getting into, about how like in WWE was kind of too strict when it came to promos, and it came to like writers like writing things for wrestlers too much, but in AEW was maybe like too loose, where people would just like go into business for themselves in this case, and like do it just for like no reason, like for no reason business wise. Because like CM Punk will say like some edgy shit and some personal shit in his promos, but it'll be in the purpose of the storyline. It won't be like just for saying it for the hell of it, or just saying it because he legit doesn't like the person. And yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, from
Right.
that standpoint, it makes sense. Look, and like I said, I'm not agreeing with a lot of the ways he handled certain things. He has enough of a reputation behind him where there is some truth to that, but he does make valid points. He does make a lot of valid points.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he goes into like, after the fact that, that whole situation with the Bucks and Omega happened, that whole brawl out shit, and he was like injured and all that. He figured he was done with AEW. He figured he wasn't coming back. He didn't even hear from anybody from the company for like a good 6 months. And then he even told
Mm.
Tony Khan like to just release him, like, yo, those guys don't want me here. It's obviously gonna be trouble between us. And he like even tried to tell Tony Khan multiple times to like, squash everything between us, like get us all in a room together, but the Young Bucks refused to. So he was like, yo, just let me out of my contract, just release me, whatever. And Tony Khan said no. Like Tony Khan insisted on not releasing him and then starting that collision show so that Punk would be separated from all those dudes. And Punk just knew from the very beginning that it was not going to work. He just knew that it was not going to last.
Oh man. Well, hey, I mean, there's a reason for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it wasn't going to last because of the fact that, from what he said, that Tony Khan never got them to get into a room and squash everything, and like actually maybe even turn it into a storyline. But yeah, it just never went down that way. And then he tried with the Collision show. He tried to to make it his own thing and tried to like make good shows out of it. But obviously didn't last very long. And then the whole Jack Perry situation happened, and he talked about how Tony Schiavone came up to him talking about how Jack Perry was bitching everybody out about this, a real glass spot he wanted to do. And then when he went to go talk to Jack Perry about it, he was very polite about it, said yo, there's no real purpose for this. It doesn't make any sense. And if you do it to a rental car, that's a bad precedent. And then after he explained
Wow.
it to him that way, it was cool about it. But then All In happened, and then Jack Perry did that spot in the match, and he said, "Cry me a river" afterwards to the camera, referring to Punk. And then Punk after that went up to Tony Khan and said, "Either you handle this situation, or I'm gonna handle it, and you're not gonna like the way that I handle it." And then Tony Khan did not handle it, did not take care of it. So then Punk went up to Jack Perry and asked him "Why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit?" And then Jack Perry apparently tried to come at him. And then as he came at him, Punk said he didn't hit Jack Perry, but he did, choke him out a little bit. And then he said it was separated and Samoa Joe stopped it. And then right after that whole thing happened, Punk just went off and told Tony Khan that he was a fucking clown and that the place was a fucking joke and that he quit. He said he basically quit right after that happened, but he still did go out to do the match with Samoa Joe out of respect for Samoa Joe, the referee, and also the fans.
I see that. That's respect.
Yeah, but he basically did say that, AEW is not a legit business and that Tony Khan is a joke as a boss.
This means we need to get more. We need to get a replacement. We got to get a better authority, new authority that could change the culture of just kind of like what Triple H is doing.
Yeah, he needs some help. He needs somebody to help him, really run certain things and take some things off of his
Man,
plate.
just argue with somebody on social media at 4 a.m, man, dude. Man, that's I've never heard anybody, not just in wrestling, Kurt, but just like any businessman or CEO, any company, or whether if it's a business or sports or whatever. I've never heard anybody get into a little argument with somebody on social media about something, man. I've never heard anything like that before.
I've probably seen it before, but yeah, and even that situation a few months ago with WWE going head to head with Dynamite on that one random Tuesday when it was NXT against Dynamite, and he was going off about the whole ratings
Yeah.
thing, and he was going off on Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and yeah, just having a meltdown over the whole thing. I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? You're embarrassing yourself. And then that
Yep.
shit a few months ago with Jinder Mahal, and him and Jinder Mahal were going at it. I'm like, bro, why are you acting like this, bro? You're a leader. When you're a leader, when you're in that position, you have to set a different example. And that's not the example you said.
No, hell, this is embarrassing, man. Oh, it's just, dude, just randomly, and here's the thing: he's the one who's initiating it, dude. That's the sad part about it. Let's not forget that.
And that's why I say, you may not have liked the way CM Punk handled certain situations and all that, and that's fair. But considering the environment that he was in, that being AEW, he was allowed to act that way, and not just him. Other people were also allowed to act that way. Because the CM Punk situation is not the only situation we've heard of people in AEW not getting along, getting into fights. Yeah, we've been hearing that about Sammy Guevara getting into it with Eddie Kingston, and then Sammy Guevara had another situation with Andrade. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa were having issues too. Yeah, so we've heard about these situations multiple times.
Mm.
And Santana and Ortiz, they had a falling out. Yeah, there's been a lot of shit with AEW the last few years where people have been having beef with each other.
Man. Well, I mean, hey, like I said, man, it is what it is. Things happen for a reason. It's because of that is why CM Punk is back in our presence in WWE.
Yeah, he just said he loves being back. He said he loves the fact that, it's a different vibe there now. And like, him and Triple H have a better relationship. And how, like, he's kind of like seeing the fruits of his labor because like the way the locker room is now is kind of like what he tried to work to make the locker room become back, like, when he was in his prime.
I feel you.
So like he really likes, the vibe of the locker room now compared to before, and especially I guess now compared to like, what AEW was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just wants to contribute in any way he can. He's kind of like learned to, check his ego at the door and like, not stress certain things and like realize that at the end of the day, he's a performer and he's not the booker. So as far as like, stressing things too much and thinking too much into the future to like just more like enjoy the moment.
I feel you.
Good shit, man. I respect that. And like I said, like we've had our criticisms of CM Punk and all that, but I do give credit where it's due for the good things he's done. And if he has changed in positive ways and if he does have like a new lease on life, then more power to him for that.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. But did you get a chance to watch the Bray Wyatt documentary?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it was very good, bro. It was sad as fuck, obviously, with the ending and how he
Oh, I bet.
went
Oh,
out. But
I bet.
yeah, just so sudden out of nowhere. They like all describe like the day he died, like and especially hearing JoJo describe it. Yeah, it's some heartbreaking shit.
I believe it, man, and that's that's just one of those careers where you kind of like, man, I wish he could have just been pushed a little bit more and just used the right way is the word. That's the thing I want to say. Use the right, correct way.
Yeah, they kind of touched on that a little bit. But even though there were certain things with the booking that was questionable and like kind of did him more harm than good, at the same time, look at his WrestleMania resume. He worked with Cena twice.
That's impressive.
He worked with Cena
Yeah.
twice. He worked with Cena at his first WrestleMania.
Yep. Undertaker the year after.
Yeah, that Undertaker the
Yeah.
next year. Also, he had that segment with The Rock at 32. He got to go into 33 as the champion against Orton in the title match. I mean, look, say what you want about the title match and the outcome or whatever, but he still did get to go into WrestleMania as the champion. That is saying something, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had that Firefly Funhouse match with Cena at the pandemic one, which a lot of people say is one of the better parts of that whole show.
Right.
Yeah, they did a good job with it, considering the circumstances and everything going on. They killed it with the ideas they came up with.
They did.
And speaking of that, crazy, tomorrow's going to be 4 years of the anniversary of that pandemic WrestleMania.
Oh my god, that's just one that I cannot.
Oh,
I wouldn't watch. I just can't watch it.
It's so crazy. That's like around the time we first started this show too. It was like right around the same time.
Yeah, can't watch it.
Neither can I, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That match Undertaker and AJ was dope though, especially when Undertaker first comes out and AJ Styles is like, "Yo, did you get your wife's permission to come out this late?"
Yeah.
All right, but anyway. But yeah, Bray was done wrong by a lot of the booking, but he definitely did work with a lot of A-list talent and became an A-list talent in the process.
You did.
They were talking about like how like much of a creative genius he was, how like crazy his ideas were, and to no surprise, when he was a kid, he was really into movies like Beetlejuice and Ghostbusters. Like those are the movies he watched like religiously.
Really interesting.
Yeah, like Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, like he was really hardcore into movies like that.
Okay, so big Tim Burton fan, I see.
Yeah, shit like that. So they were talking about the whole like creation of the Wyatt family and how he basically modeled it after the Robert De Niro character from Cape Fear and also the Waylon Mercy character from WWE in '95.
Right.
So you kind of like meshed those two together. And yeah, just from like that debut they had on Raw in that whole first year, they were killing it. Yeah, that shit was mad different, but it worked. They felt like characters because in WWE at that time, like, the vibe wasn't really the same. The people on the show didn't really feel like characters, but the Wyatts, they felt like characters. Like some Some like people, like if you saw them in the street, you would like really stop and say like, "Yo, who the fuck are these people?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to their house for Christmas. No fucking way, forever."
You sound like JR. You won't be over my house for Christmas dinner.
Some Texas Chainsaw Massacre type shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, but they talk about the whole run of the Wyatts, and then how like he reinvented himself with the whole Fiend character, and how like while that was going, they didn't talk about the whole Hell in a Cell incident, obviously, but they talk about like the Fiend character, but then also they get into when Brody passed away, Brody Lee, when he passed suddenly, and how like that really took a toll on him. Yeah, I heard even back then. I heard that Brody Lee dying like really hurt him. It really hurt him a
Man, I
lot.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like looking back at that Wyatt family stable, the original one, that both him and Brody are no longer here. It's fucking insane.
I know.
And they talk about like how he kept like kind of disappearing more and more, and how like he was like off TV for a while until eventually he got released. And then like, in that one year when he was released, he started like doing paintings and like doing stuff like that, and that kind of got his like creative juices rolling a little bit. And then he eventually came back when like Triple H took over. Surprise, surprise! Yeah, he came back when Triple
Mhm.
H took over, and then like that they played that night at Extreme Rules when he came back in Philly.
Yeah.
Actually, in Philly, he got that crazy
Yeah.
ass reaction, and that promo afterwards on SmackDown when he kind of started crying in the beginning of it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Man.
And they show the footage of his very last match, which they didn't know would be his last match, against LA Knight at a house show. And they talk about like how he had COVID and those COVID complications led to him having heart problems. So he had to wear something on his chest, and then apparently like that one day he wasn't wearing it on his chest, and then like JoJo was like touching his body, and like he wasn't moving, he wasn't responding. And yeah, just hearing her describe that whole day and that whole ordeal of like how it happened and how he eventually passed, yeah, it's not for the weak at heart, bro.
Man.
Yeah, they talked to JoJo, they talked to Bo Dallas, obviously, they talked to his sister, they talked to Mike Rotunda, talked to his mom, they talked to his ex-wife. Yeah, they talked to Seth Rollins, John Cena, Triple H, Randy Orton. Randy Orton really liked working with him during
I
that
bet.
period.
I can't wait to hear Mike Rotunda's speech at the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, he's going in Friday. Yes, he is. Oh, and also speaking of the Hall of Fame, Roman Reigns will be inducting Paul Heyman.
Yep. Just as we're getting ready to get into. Yep.
And also, The Rock will be inducting his grandmother, Leah Maivia, into the Hall of Fame, too. Good shit.
Hey, perfect. Come on. Damn it. I wish they damn it, NBC. Damn it. I wish they would have extended another season of Young Rock, man. Damn.
Yeah, it's so great that The Rock made her into that character on the show. She was definitely one of my favorite parts of it personally. And yeah, it's going to be cool to see her.
Oh my God. My mom loved the character. My own mom loved the character. She loved the grandma on that show, man. And it's crazy because of that show. I learned about the grandmother, about how she was a promoter and all that. I was like, well, I didn't know that, and now to see her inducted into the Hall of Fame, it's just like, man, that's wow,
She's kind of like the Oprah of wrestling in a sense, or like the first Oprah of wrestling.
Yeah. Can't wait for that though.
Looking like Adam Copeland had a response to CM Punk's interview on Dynamite, which I'm going to see in a few minutes. I think Cody Rhodes even kind of responded to it too, saying like he didn't agree with Punk saying that Tony Khan wasn't a real boss.
I feel bad for Edge, man.
I mean, he's doing fine. That match he had with Christian a few weeks ago, that I Quit match, was great, and he won the title. I mean, look, it's not the same, definitely not the same, but he's doing okay.
Yeah, I know, but I know.
And like I said, even when he first signed with AEW, as long as he's happy, it's all good. If he's not happy, if he's starting to see that maybe AEW is not what he thought it would be, then yeah, I would feel for him in that case.
Man.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's not going to be on WrestleMania this year. Yeah, he's not going to be on WrestleMania this year. That's weird.
I know. Oh, are you ready to finally get to the main course?
Oh, Kalani, she's not here right now, so I gotta wait.
Oh, fool! Our predictions. God. Damn.
I know. She likes girls anyway, but that's another
Shit.
story.
Oh man, oh my god, like I got some concerns.
You have concerns.
Gonna be a little Al Roker just for these next couple of minutes. I was just looking at the weather. It's gonna be pretty cold, man. Thank God it's not, because I'm watching baseball right now. It was kind of, the Phillies are playing, and I think it was raining just a little bit, and that had me thinking, like, dude, it's only, what's today, Wednesday, right? It's only Wednesday. I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna be like? And it's raining right now. It's not gonna rain this weekend, thank God. So we're good. We're in the clear. It's gonna rain again the following week, okay? But I was looking at reports and just looking at the weather just now, Kurt. Bro, it's gonna be the lowest is gonna be 37 at night, man.
Oh fuck.
Degrees.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of happy I didn't go this year.
During the day is gonna be in the 50s, bro. But bro, you're on the northeast in Philly, Pennsylvania. I mean, I've never been up that high up, in the U.S. before though. But I mean, throughout the day is going to be in the 50s though. But when it's nighttime, bro, it's going to be in the 30s.
They're gonna be singing Cody's theme song, saying, "You could tell it's cold as hell. It's fucking 30 degrees. I'm about to
Dude,
damn freeze my ass off." Whoa.
bro,
Yes, what they're gonna be singing.
yeah, man. Like that's just one of the things that really just kind of like I scratch my head sometimes. It was funny because I was listening to Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson was asking him, like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer arena, dome, or stadium? And I asked myself the same thing. I was like, what do I like better? I prefer just dome. Like, if you're gonna have it in a stadium, if you're gonna have it up in the Northeast, man, you gotta like think carefully because of your location and during the time of the year. I was somewhat concerned about the weather, man. Same thing whenever a WrestleMania goes to Florida. Like, my concern is the rain.
Yeah, both WrestleManias in Orlando, like it wasn't looking the best outside during the night, like the day part of it. I was there for one of them.
You went, yeah, and you went to WrestleMania 29 in New York, New Jersey area. I mean, like, what was the weather like
It wasn't great. It was kind of like, I guess, like maybe 55 degrees,
during the day?
like more towards the night, but like as long as you had a hoodie on, you were fine. It wasn't the worst weather ever.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, I had to wear a hoodie last year. And me, living in California before and visiting there like every year and all that stuff, I thought during that time that it was gonna be a little warm. It's April, but no, it was kind of little breezy towards the end of the night. And I was kind of like, I wasn't expecting this. And I was like, thank God I brought my hoodie with me. But still, like, damn, I feel so bad.
Maybe it'll start snowing, and then Cody could like train doing some like Rocky Four type skits, like the one I sent you the other day from TikTok.
Oh,
That was
oh
pretty
Lord.
good.
Yeah, it was. It's not gonna snow though. But like I had just sent you a picture of the updated stage for this year's WrestleMania. It looks really good. I like it.
Yeah, it looks good so far from what I've seen too. I heard Meek Mill is going to be at WrestleMania. Also, Lil
Yeah,
Wayne, who was at Raw Monday and said what up to Jay Uso, he's going to be at WrestleMania debuting a
yeah,
new track.
yeah.
Oh shit! They got to get Stallone involved somehow.
Probably. I heard that they were trying to get I think it was Jason Kelsey, the retired football player, lineman from the Philadelphia Eagles. I think I read a report that they reached out to him like not too long ago.
Possible. Maybe they can get Iverson to make a cameo.
Yeah, anybody, any Philly legend, they could do what they need to do. Look, anybody who's visiting, I have two. Well, wait, I have two friends that are going to WrestleMania this year, and James is one of them. My good friend from Virginia, Amadio Martin, and his wife is going, and just stay warm, you guys. So, man, God, I feel so bad for everybody. 37 is the low. Damn,
Bro, they're
man.
gonna be fine. They're gonna be at WrestleMania. They're gonna be surrounded by wrestling fans. I
I know
mean,
they be drinking and all that. I know, but it's like that's gonna be the coldest. That's probably it's probably gonna be the coldest WrestleMania weather
yeah.
outdoor. But still. But you ready to get to these predictions?
Yes, I'm ready to get into these predictions. So let's break it down for y'all. For the Women's World Championship, we have Rhea Ripley defending against Becky Lynch.
Ooh.
And a match that I have a feeling might open night one.
I don't know. I think I was assuming, I was thinking that maybe the latter match will open tonight. Maybe.
Or maybe Jimmy and Jay, since Brett and Owen opened WrestleMania 10, they can
Oh
open
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah, yeah,
WrestleMania.
yeah. That's
It,
true. That is true.
it could happen. Becky said the only thing that she's never done for WrestleMania is open a WrestleMania. So that would be interesting if they, put this on first.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but man, who are we gonna pick? You know what?
Did you see that
The scuffle that they had on Monday. Yeah.
but the one they had on the MMA hour, the one they had in the MMA hour when Rhea Ripley was on the show and then Becky Lynch came into the studio and actually interrupted the interview and got in her face and they had to be separated. Yeah, that should
Oh.
happen too.
Oh no. Oh my God! You see what I'm talking about? This build up. Oh my God!
And Becky just
Oh.
came out with her book last week. She's been on the book tour. She was even on the Breakfast Club I saw the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's fucking. Who would have ever thought
Nice.
Becky Lynch would be on the Breakfast Club of all shows?
Or any wrestler.
Now they've had
Or
wrestlers
any
on
wrestler. I
there.
don't. Do you ever recall any
Of
wrestler?
course,
Oh.
Big E's been on there. Ric Flair's been on there. Jade Cargill's been on there. Yeah, they've had wrestlers on there before.
You know what? I think with the attention that Becky Lynch has been getting with her new book, and then look, the crowd's going to be hot. I know that for damn sure. It's going to be 50-50. But you know what? It's going to be an uphill challenge for Rhea Ripley to climb, and I'm going to pick Becky Lynch to win.
Yes, and Becky Lynch has not been very happy with Rhea Ripley's recent antics on house shows where Rhea Ripley has been giving the stink face to some of her opponents. Becky Lynch has been
Come
going
on
off
now.
about
How can we wait a minute? We love that.
Becky Lynch in an interview recently was going off about how like that's disrespectful to the business. That's like what she worked very
Oh,
hard to like, get the business away from with the women. And now she's like making a
oh,
mockery of the women with what she's doing with
oh,
that shit.
oh no! Since she said that crap, now I changed my mind.
I liked what happened at the house show the next day where Shayna Baszler tried to get Rhea Ripley to give her the stink face, but as she was about to do it, Nia Jax stopped her, and then Nia Jax gave Shayna Baszler the stink face instead.
Oh God! Would
Oh
you be
my!
surprised if Rhea does win though?
I will be and I won't be. I will be in the sense that I feel like Becky does have a lot of momentum right now. And also, she hasn't been the champion since that WrestleMania when she lost to Bianca. She hasn't had the belt in 2 years. So if they were going to put the belt back on her, it
This is the
wouldn't
right
be a
time.
bad idea.
Hmm.
But the thing I heard, though, is that like her contract's coming up soon and they haven't come up to her about renegotiating yet.
Hmm. Okay, we have to wait and see. But all I know is this is going to be a great match. And like I said, it's the crowd, man. I'm looking forward to. So
But if I had to put money on it, I have to say that I think Becky will win. Yeah, Becky will win.
okay. On to our next match for the Intercontinental Championship, we have the Ring General, the reigning defending Intercontinental Champion Gunther versus Sami Zayn. And Gunther really just laid Chad Gable out this past Monday, man.
And Sami Zayn, too. We beat the hell out of Sami Zayn.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
After they had a skit where Chad Gable was training Sami Zayn and kind of like having a lot of Rocky 3 references where he's trying to get Sami Zayn to snap out of his funk and like trying to get him to be serious and
Oh
trying to get him to
God,
be more focused. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of Rocky 3 vibes where like Sami Zayn says he's afraid, he doesn't know
Lord.
if he can do it or not, and then he snaps out of it, gets into the training mode, and has the eye of the tiger. The only thing missing was like a run on the beach where they're wearing like tops that are half cut off and then jumping around hugging each other.
Wait a minute now. Just wait a minute. Sami Zayn has all the time in the world to run up and train. He could run up to the Rocky statue now.
It wouldn't be the same because it's Rocky 3. Rocky 3, they run on the beach.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everybody thinks when you think of Rocky, he's running up the stairs to that museum, whatever. That's what everybody thinks about. That's how it all started.
That's true. I think they're gonna definitely do a reference to that with either this or the Cody story, one or the other.
Oh yeah. But anyway, who am I gonna pick? I don't know. I think Gunther is gonna win.
Me too. I think Gunther's gonna retain. I don't think Sami Zayn's the person to dethrone him.
Yeah. If only it was Chad Gable, I would have had a different opinion, but it is what it is.
At least he's involved in the storyline. I don't know what they're gonna do with him as the match happens, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna get involved.
That match is gonna be brutal, though. That match is gonna be insane.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. But anyway, on to our next match. We have a 6-pack tag team ladder match for the undisputed tag team championships. My God, I can't believe they actually put this match together. Ooh, it's a lot. We have Judgment Day, the tag team champions, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, versus DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, versus the Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth, versus New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, versus A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, versus New Catch Republic, the team of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Oh my God.
And I heard that the match isn't over until both sets of belts are brought down. So if one set of belts gets taken down first, that team who gets it wins it. And then if another team gets another set of the belts down, that team wins it. So it's looking like from that perspective, they're probably going to separate the belts.
Wow.
I don't mind it.
Okay.
I don't mind it.
I know. It's a lot. My God, he said this earlier in our recent episodes, man. That's a lot of tag teams, man. Sheesh.
This is the record for most guys in a ladder match with 12. The record I remember beforehand being the Money in the Bank from WrestleMania 26 with 10 people, but this is going to be 12. Fuck me.
Ooh.
This shit is going to be all over the place.
Seriously.
All motherfucking over the place.
Look, I wasn't really a big fan of wrestling, back in 2010, 2011, you know what I mean? But seeing The Miz and R-Truth as a tag team, it brings me back. I think that's cool. And especially with R-Truth. R-Truth has just been hilarious. The funniest I've ever seen him as recent is just, I love his work, man. Like, when they're in Chicago, R-Truth is at the announce table, and, Finn Balor and Damian Priest are about to confront him, and R-Truth is telling the camera to cut the commercial. Was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He's telling him take a break, cut the commercial. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that. I'm like, bro, what difference is it gonna make? They're gonna attack you anyway.
It's funny though, but a part of me, dude, I would like to see Miz and R-Truth to win this match. That would be awesome.
I think they're gonna half win this match. I think they're gonna get one set of the belts, and New Cash Republic are gonna get the other set of belts, and that's how it's going to end.
Oh, really? So you're high on them, huh?
Yeah, so Judgment Day are going to have like a Kurt Angle from WrestleMania 2000 type vibe where they lose two sets of titles and are not really involved in the final outcome.
Funny. Funny. I actually like that match, by the way.
Jericho doesn't.
Yeah, because he felt that, I was listening to the podcast, Bruce Pritchard's podcast yesterday, and, Jericho, he referenced how Jericho felt the Intercontinental Championship should have been the last fall, not the first fall, or something like that.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you saw how quick Jericho dropped that European title, right?
I don't remember that.
He dropped it the next night on Raw to Guerrero when him and China first got together.
Oh, no. Sorry, dropped it. Oh, my bad, dropped it. I'm sorry. I thought, when he won the match, he just didn't. He's like, man, I don't care about like that. My bad. No, yeah, I do remember him dropping the next night to Guerrero. That I remember. I thought you were referencing something else. My bad. Our next match, oh my God, I think outside the main event, this is the match that I'm hyped up for and I'm looking forward to. Brother versus brother, Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Man, have my money on Jey Uso because I mean, ever since he became a singles competitor, man, he really just blossomed tremendously. Keep that momentum running, man.
I want to pick him too because for all the things that Jimmy's done to him over the last few months, ever since SummerSlam,
Oh hell yeah! Oh
it's kind of time for like Jay to get his revenge. But a part of me kind of feels like they're gonna
yeah.
do like a Brett and Owen thing where Jimmy gets that win that he needs to become that star because he's not really that guy yet the way that Jay is. So maybe Jay losing to him would help Jimmy get that rub. It could go down that way too.
Okay, that's a good point.
I remember being wrong about this with WrestleMania last year with Ray and Dominic,
Hmm.
especially after watching the promo package before the match. That's kind of what changed my mind where I said, you know what? There's no way Dominic can win this match. She can't win this match after doing all that. I feel like I'm getting that
Right.
same vibe with this story. So, when that being said, I will pick Jey Uso to win. Jey Uso wins.
Okay. And let's just only hope, fingers crossed, that Rikishi is there.
Maybe make a difference. Fatu can make a comeback to kind of like mend fences between the two of them.
Oh Lord.
Kind of like some Furious Styles type shit. All right, but yeah, I have Jey Uso winning.
Yeah, same here. And on to our next match, we have this match was just added, by the way, last week. So we have a 6-woman tag team match. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi versus Damage Control, the team of Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Zane. I love the presentation that Jade Cargill got last week on SmackDown. Loved it.
Yeah, her entrance, that fucking outfit she was wearing, holy
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, she officially signed her SmackDown contract.
Which one, the red one or the silver?
The silver one, especially. Silver one, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
All right, that's another story though. And then at the end of the night, she saved Bianca Belair and Naomi from a beatdown from Damage Control and laid out all the members of Damage Control as her, Bianca, and Naomi stood tall to end this show and also pointed at the WrestleMania sign after it went off the air. And afterwards, it was announced that this match will be happening at WrestleMania and it will be Jade's very first official match and her first WrestleMania at
Man.
that too.
Nice.
So, with that being considered, and also the fact that Bianca Belair is undefeated thus far at WrestleMania, her undefeated streak does not come to an end in this match, as her, Jade, and Naomi will win.
I agree. Good way to make your debut, and I'm happy for Jade Cargill. So
Yeah, she's gonna really shine. I think this match is definitely designed to like make her look good. Definitely. Yeah, so I see the three of them winning. It's gonna be in the bag. Yeah, it was kind of like a black female Avengers, kind of with the vibe I got from the three of them. And the
yeah,
SmackDown. And the
especially with
SmackDown.
that. So I love that, especially with that close up picture that they took. All three of them are pointing to the WrestleMania sign.
Yeah, it's dope. So dope. I think that's the
Yeah,
very first time SmackDown's ever ended with three black women.
yeah,
Nice to see that shit. But yes, let's move on to our other matches on the card
yeah.
as we have Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio going against his deadbeat dad, Rey Mysterio,
Hey,
and his partner, Dragon Lee.
oh, I'm sorry. You still on the fact that Dominic was spoiled and just he didn't get the right gift that he wanted for his 10th birthday. Oh,
Bro, he said specifically that he wanted a certain kind of bike. I'm not sure what it was. It was like a specific kind of bike, and Ray got the wrong kind of bike. And bro, Dominic was so specific about that. Told him 1,000 times, and what did Ray do? He got the wrong bike. You
oh,
can't make mistakes like that. Can't
oh,
make
I'm
mistakes
sorry.
like that. Kids don't
Oh,
forget, son. Kids don't
oh,
forget.
I'm sorry. Didn't get his little Turbo Man doll. Oh, it was just kind of a weird way how this match came about. I know that originally this wasn't going to be the plan, but I mean, they did. It is what it is. But I think after what happened last year, I hate to say it, but I think Dominic's going to get his revenge. So I have Santos Escobar and Dominic winning.
Yeah, I'll say so too. To kind of avenge what happened last year.
You know?
It's kind of weird. This is the third straight WrestleMania where Dominic is in a match involving his dad also.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember they had a tag match at a 38. I remember that.
With Logan Paul and Miz. Yeah, that match.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, how do I need to watch that one again? Um, yeah, and then go back to last year and yep,
I think it'll still be fun. I think the match will still be fun, especially with Dragon Lee. I think he's really going to shine in this. But ultimately, I do
yeah,
think Dominic and Santos Escobar pick up the win.
same here. And now finally to the main event of night one, ladies and gentlemen, a tag team match with the stipulation: if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, it is bloodline rules for night two in a title match between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. But if Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins wins, then that means the bloodline is barred from ringside for night two. We have The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. Damn. What a matchup.
This is a big deal, bro.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that, like, when The Rock first like implemented himself into the storyline and like kind of took Cody's spot initially,
Mm-hmm.
that it was gonna lead to the
Turn out like
great like
this.
promos and character work he's been doing like these last 2 months, and that we would be getting the biggest tag team match in WrestleMania history. It sucks that CM Punk got hurt, and
Yeah.
we couldn't get that match with Rollins as the main event, but this more
Call
than
an
makes up
audible.
for it, I'll say.
Oh, it definitely does, man. You got to call an audible. Some plan A doesn't work out, revert to plan B. I'm proud that I was able to, be a part of it by going to the press conference about a month and a half ago. That's kind of like when all of this pretty much like escalated from. You know what I mean? It was it was Rock implemented himself into the match, and then you know all hell breaking loose at the press conference with the slap and everything, and it's just been ongoing ever since. So yeah, it is unfortunate that Punk was out. I was bummed out about it, but like you transition to this makes up for it. Oh man, I don't even know what to say as far as who I want to pick. I, I don't know what to say. Kurt, you could say it first, whatever you want to say.
Well, considering my prediction for the main event for night two, that prediction I feel like is going to come true by adversity falling into the way of the person who's going to win. And that
Yeah.
adversity is going to result from The Rock and Roman, I believe, winning the tag team match on night one. I think they really need to stack the deck against Cody. So, with that being said, that night two match is going to be bloodline rules where he really has to come from behind, circa The Rock at Backlash 2000. So, I
Kind
do
of
think The Rock and Roman win
um
the tag team match
um,
on night one.
this is kind of similar to with Stone Cold from WrestleMania 14, where you had a stack against him. You had Mike Tyson is in the corner of DX, and you had DX and everybody, and yeah, kind of similar to that. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the reason why I had a hard time because I felt maybe a swerve will happen. Some people are saying that Seth Rollins will turn on Cody.
But why? He still has to defend the title the next day against Drew, and he's still kind of technically a babyface in that
Exactly.
story.
That like I was like again, that's what people are saying. To me, I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you turn on Cody? The next night you gotta turn around and you gotta defend your title against Drew. I was like, I don't I was scratching my head on that one. But yeah, I think Rock and Roman Reigns are gonna win this match, and that will stack the deck against Cody. So that will be it for night one or Saturday night.
Yeah, well, the Saturday night portion of WrestleMania will end with The Rock and Roman standing tall. And then, yeah, they'll be playing up big time how Cody's going to have to overcome the odds on night two. And we will get into that prediction in a few minutes. But let's break down our other night two predictions for WrestleMania. As night two, we will have for the world heavyweight title Seth Rollins defending against Drew McIntyre.
Oh, payback is going to be hell. Oh yes, this is the one. You know what? This is the match I think outside the main event where I'm looking forward to because of what's going to happen. What I've been predicting for a month now. Okay. Drew McIntyre, yes, is finally going to get his WrestleMania moment only for a few minutes because CM Punk is going to get involved and I don't know, beat him up or I don't know, hit him with a steel chair or something. I don't know what the hell he's going to do. Just do something, knock Drew McIntyre out, and then boom, Damian Priest cashes in his Money in the Bank contract. So we will have two title switches for that match. That's what's going to happen.
I could see it. I could
Yeah.
see it.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, Seth Rollins drops that title Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, because um, look, the last time Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre had a match for that title, I mean, Seth Rollins won. So it's only appropriate that Drew McIntyre wins that match and finally gets that moment only for a few minutes.
I did like that funeral segment that he had on
Good
Raw Monday
Lord.
for CM Punk's WrestleMania dreams.
I'm telling you, man, that man, he's been talking about that man rent free ever since his injury. That is why payback is going to be hell. And I'm going to laugh so hard when it happens.
Well, CM Punk's ultimate payback would be if Drew doesn't re-sign with WWE and then he ends up in AEW.
Oh, what the fuck? What?
Front of half
What?
empty crowds.
What?
Front of half empty crowds. That'll be his
What?
payback.
Oh my god. Oh man, but I want to see a good match by the way, so let's not forget about that. So
Oh, goes without
um
saying. But I think these two are
yeah,
definitely going to have their working shoes on come Sunday nights.
absolutely. Absolutely. And on to our next match for the women's championship, Io Sky versus Bailey. I have Bailey winning. Bailey needs to have that WrestleMania moment.
And she will. This is the only logical way for this story to conclude, especially after her winning the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble and then her whole fallout with Damage Control happening the way it did, where they were all like, talking shit about her for months and then she was onto it. And like what's been going on lately with Dakota Kai, like, turning on her too. Yeah, it's time for Bailey to get her revenge and get her WrestleMania moment, and it is going to happen when she beats Io Sky, and what I think will be an incredible match. I'm looking forward to seeing what these two put together.
Okay. Man, Damage Control is going to have a bad weekend. They lose night one, and Io Sky loses the title at night two. Oof.
Yeah, it's going to be sad to see Damage Control go down, but they are all going down on both nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy. It's come full circle from the time Damage Control debuted at that SummerSlam a year and a half ago, and they had that 6-woman tag last year to come all the way this year to be in the women's title match for one night and also another 6-woman tag for the other night. Yo, they've come a long way, bro. This is a big moment for them.
Oh, yeah. They absolutely have.
Yes, and another person who will have a big moment this Sunday is LA Knight as he will officially make his WrestleMania debut and he will take on
Hey.
AJ Styles.
So I heard that AJ Styles is going to have a new theme song.
That's what's up.
I hope it's good though, because I always loved his theme song. Didn't you?
Yeah, I like his theme song too, but hopefully maybe his new theme song will be just as good.
Yeah, true. Um, man, LA Knight is gonna win.
I agree. I think he wins too.
Gotta revamp that momentum we have with the crowd, with moving forward. So keep it and win. So I have him winning.
I like that skit they did on SmackDown Friday where like AJ Styles was trying to find him and he couldn't find him anywhere. He thought like somebody was trying to dress up disguise as him, but then lo and behold, he was like dressed up as like one of the random people working on the side of the ring.
That's funny. I like that.
It sure was dope.
Very.
But yes, I have LA Knight winning, and yes, on to our next match. We have the douchebag fuck Logan Paul defending his United States title and only a second title defense in 5 months against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in a triple threat match.
Oh man, you know what? If this match was a singles match, then I would have easily like, okay, I'm picking a challenger. But the fact that it's a triple threat match, it makes it kind of like what's the whole point now? It's like I don't see if you want to see Logan Paul lose the title, it's better to do it one on one against the right person. I don't know, man. I hate to say it, but Logan Paul's gonna end up winning. If I had to pick somebody to win, I would like to see Orton win, though. But I don't know, man.
I think Logan Paul is going to be up to his douchebag fuckery tactics, and that's going to help him retain the United States title. I do think that will happen. It'll be a fun match, though.
Yeah. Now this match, this was I think this was another match that was added last week. So we have a 6-man Philadelphia street fight. What is this, similar to the Chicago street fight from WrestleMania 13?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
it's pretty
much.
much what it is.
Yeah. So we have the Pride, the team of Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford versus the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, Akame, and Rizar.
I'm hoping the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley come out to state property gear. Kind of similar to how the Road Warriors and Ahmed Johnson came out to the spike jackets at WrestleMania 13. I hope since it's Philly, they come out to state property gear and Beanie Siegel performs Rock the Mic for them. That'd be a good vibe.
Okay. I would. You know what? I have to go with the Final Testament on this one because this is if you're gonna start off a new faction, you have to like tell your audience how serious you are. You know what I mean? Get a win, show them how serious of a faction that you are. You know what I mean? If they lose, it's kind of like, what's the whole point of having these people together? You know what I mean? We want to take them serious. I'm happy for Karrion Kross. More importantly, you're on the card at WrestleMania, regardless. So you're given this opportunity. I'm very happy for him. I've always been a fan of him. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy that he's given like a second opportunity at this. So no offense to Bobby Lashley and Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. I've all like the heartfelt respect for them. I do. But since this is a new faction that Karrion Kross is in, you know what I mean? You need to really got to take this seriously. So I have the Final Testament winning.
Okay, I think that the Profits and Lashley will win the Pride. I think they'll win, especially after the Profits got screwed over by Authors of Pain last week in the tag title tournament. I think they're going to get the revenge, and I think them and Lashley will win.
And I'm happy that the Authors of Pain are back too, though, because I was in shock when they came back because I remember that remember they were in a faction with Seth Rollins 4 years ago. Remember that?
Yeah, they were, and so was Buddy Murphy. He was also in it.
Yeah, I remember that. And then they just randomly they let them go, and I felt bad for them. I thought I liked them as a tag team, the physical presence. I loved them. So to see them back, I like it. So again, I'm picking them to win. Yes, and finally, ladies and gentlemen, the main event. Our main event for night 2 is the undisputed Universal Championship between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
What we've waited one whole year for. What we've waited a full year to get back to.
Yeah. Yep. And this time, the ending which should have been last year, it will be make up for it. Cody Rhodes is finally going to finish his story this time. This time, for real.
I do think that he will finish it. I agree. But it's not going to come before a whole bunch of crazy shenanigans and chaos beforehand. Yeah, this match is going to be fun, and it's going to be fucking all over the place, but in a good way.
I agree.
This match is going to be the Rock and Triple H match from Backlash 2000. I think this is what it's going to be.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
And speaking of that, I think a certain somebody who actually made a cameo in that match may make a cameo in this match too to back up Cody.
Stone Cold?
Very possible. They showed his face and also Cena's face on the truck outside when like The Rock was beating up Cody. For whatever reason, they like really focused on them. So I'm having a feeling that both of them, or at least one of them, but more than likely being Austin, is going to make a cameo and back up Cody.
I feel it. I love that, man. Can you imagine that crowd is going to lose it.
And Austin can stun The Rock one last time for old time's sake, and the same city where they had their first WrestleMania match. Yeah,
25.
25-year anniversary.
Yes. Yes, boy.
But The Rock,
Yes. Preach it.
and just like that match, we're probably going to go through 5 different referees.
Oh my god, that match. Hey, look, as much as we love that match was chaotic itself. Jesus.
Yeah.
My god, half the match was outside the ring. You went through how many, 3 referees? Jesus, my god.
And the referees got rough. Like fucking Mike Chioda got knocked out with the chair to the head, and then Tim White got a rock bottom, and then Vince like
Oh,
just knocked down Earl Hebner.
man. And then funny, Mick Foley was the one who made the pinfall because he was the referee originally, right? And then funny how
But he had to go to the hospital.
right. And then Earl Hebner ends up having a beer with Austin at the end of the match.
He better get something after he got beat up by Vince. He better get something.
I know. But that match was just so chaotic, though, man. But it was the Attitude Era, but still.
Maybe Earl Hebner was the only one who could keep up with Austin.
True. But you know what? I actually love that analogy, man. I love the fact how Austin could implement himself into this match, and funny, the same city 25 years later, and that would be crazy. And just the look, if Austin shows up, the look on Rock's face will be priceless. If they show a camera angle, if you, bro, imagine every time when the glass shatters, the Rock has that paranoid look on his face, like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Austin's gonna stun him and say, "That's for the way you portrayed me in your little show, Young Rock."
Right.
Fucking whack ass casting decisions.
Wow. I love it, man. I like it. And
But yes, I know we had our feelings about the way WrestleMania ended last year, but I have to say, for where we are now and how much momentum Cody's built since then, I have a feeling we're gonna say after Sunday's over that it was worth it.
true. That's what I want to say. That's what Kurt wants to say. I think that's what everybody else wants to say. We want to have a very good, memorable ending to this grand spectacle. We haven't had a good ending. We haven't had a good WrestleMania ending in a while, Kurt.
Tonight, too, no, we have not. The last really good ending to a WrestleMania was WrestleMania 31.
Yeah. Even though the heel won, though, but still, but I mean,
Yeah, but it was like an ending where you walked away saying, like, damn, what a show. And also you were satisfied at the way the show ended.
true.
And yeah, we haven't been satisfied with the way the WrestleMania show has ended since, WrestleMania 31. But I think we break that curse this weekend and it finally happens. Roman's had a great title reign. It's definitely one that'll go down in history. And he is going to surpass Hogan for the most main events in WrestleMania history this weekend. But it is time for him to be dethroned. I've been saying this ever since Cody pulled off that Hell in a Cell with Rollins 2 years ago. I've been saying that Cody is the guy who was going to dethrone Roman Reigns. And almost 2 years later, we're at this match once again. And I still stand by that. And I do believe that on Sunday, it finally will happen.
And we're going to have like a very memorable ending. You know, it feels like every, 10 years where like 94, WrestleMania 10, Bret Hart was standing tall. 10 years later, we had Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, that memorable ending. And then 10 years after, Daniel Bryan. I think his history is going to repeat itself again. It's going to be the same thing this weekend with Cody Rhodes ending his story, man, finishing his story. I'm sorry. And again, it's something should have happened last year. I wanted to see that Hollywood ending, but it didn't. I mean, we all know Hollywood is not too kind these days, but nothing never have. But anyway, yeah, man, Cody's gonna finish his story, and we're gonna look back and say, man, it was worth it. It was worth it. And as a fan, we're gonna say that, man, what a damn good WrestleMania that was. You know what I mean? So, I know for myself, in the spirit of Philadelphia, since it is back in Philly after 25 years, just for night one, not for night two, but for night one, I'm gonna, go to my favorite local Philly cheesesteak spot. I'm gonna give me a Philly cheesesteak and eat one for night one since it's in Philly. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna make my vegan Philly cheesesteaks at home for WrestleMania. That's what I'm gonna do. Thank
Okay.
you for reminding me of
yeah,
that. Good shit.
yeah.
Yeah, with the Beyond Steak. The Beyond Steak is solid. Yes, saute with some onions, some mushrooms, a little soy sauce. Yeah, put it in the oven with the cheese, put some mustard on it. Yeah, you're good to go. Good to go,
It's only
son.
appropriate. It's only appropriate. They're in Philly. Come on. But man, I really feel like this is gonna be a good show.
I wonder what role Lil Wayne's gonna play.
He said he's gonna perform a new song, right?
Yeah, but maybe he might be like in a skit or something, or maybe he might be a corner man for I'm trying to think of who he'd be a corner man for. Fuck.
Maybe he'll
Maybe
sing
he'll be
Jey
in
Uso
Bailey's
to the
corner.
ring.
Maybe he'll be in Bailey's corner.
Maybe he'll sing Jey Uso to the ring. I don't know.
And speaking of Bailey, what's funny? Bailey was the one who invited CM Punk to come visit Raw backstage that one time last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Bailey who invited him. And Punk even said that the people in AEW thought he was like a traitor for doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck
Okay.
over yourself.
But anyway, look, I think this WrestleMania is going to go down in history. It's funny. It's always the WrestleManias in like the fourth year of the decade. They're always the memorable ones. 10, 20, 30. I mean, I'm not really too high on 30 as much though, but I mean 30 is a memorable one though, but this one will be added on to that list too, man. And I can't wait for it. I'm excited, dude. As always.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to see Cody hold up that belt with the fireworks and maybe his family being in there to celebrate with him, even his brother possibly.
Hopefully some confetti too. I want to see some confetti, baby.
They usually have like fireworks at the outside stadium shows. They don't really have confetti. But then again, for their stadium
Yeah,
shows, for
come
their
on.
stadium WrestleManias, they don't have happy endings. So that's why there's no confetti. There's usually just fireworks.
I know.
I wasn't trying to see
I
confetti
know.
when John Cena beat The Rock in '29.
No, hell no. That would have been what? That would have been all. No, we don't see no damn confetti.
There was plenty of confetti when he won in '23. Holy shit! It was like Times Square and New Year's Eve.
That was bull. Oh, that was bull. You retain your title. What the hell you need confetti for?
It's the end of WrestleMania, and it was a great match.
Still, when you retain your title, you get confetti for winning. Shit.
And he also drove that car into the stadium in one piece without getting any scratches on it. So he's probably celebrating that too.
Ford Mustang. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, but anyway, but yeah, it's time. Roman had a great title reign. It's one I'll never forget, but it's time for it to finally reach its conclusion. The same way his fellow
Yeah.
Samoan family member Yokozuna's long title reign ended at WrestleMania 10, his is going
Mm-hmm.
to end at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
And Cody Rhodes will officially take his place as the face of the company.
I agree. Any more to say?
No, no more to say. So WrestleMania is this Saturday and this Sunday. Really looking forward
Yes.
to it. It's my favorite time of the year. I
4
look
p.m.,
forward to
right?
WrestleMania.
4 p.m.?
Oh yes, 4 p.m. your time, 7 p.m. my time. And yes, it is WrestleMania
Cool.
week, WrestleMania weekend. I look forward to it more than my own damn birthday. And 9 times out of 10, it does not disappoint. And I do not expect it to disappoint this year. With the card we have and the potential
Mm-hmm.
that it has to be great, I don't see it being anything less than great. So let's get it in, guys. WrestleMania time, baby.
Let's go.
Until next time, for John Randall, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of the Clash of the Champions. Enjoy WrestleMania. Enjoy watching Cody finish his story once and for all. And let's just enjoy being wrestling fans, because at the end of the day, that's what we all are at heart, and that's why we love this shit so much, is because we're fans and because it is fun. So always remember that shit.
Couldn't say it any better, man. And this is the best time of the year, and don't take it for granted, man. And to my friends James and Amadio, enjoy your time at WrestleMania. And I'm a little bit envious you guys are there and not me, man, because I wish I would have been out there, man. But hey, no matter if you're there in person or just watching it on TV, hey, you're watching, you're enjoying it. So can't wait. And take care, you guys. God bless. And Kurt, take it away from here, man.
Also, especially if you're at WrestleMania, have fun, enjoy yourself, but also remember, especially, don't be an asshole out there. Also, don't be an asshole on social media, especially if you disagree with somebody. Don't be an asshole, don't be a douchebag, because that shit, and I do mean shit when I say that, is
For
for
the
the
birds.
birds. Have a good one, guys. Happy WrestleMania week.